If you're struggling with acne, I have discovered 5 very effective ways you can reduce your acne without having to use any expensive face care products, skincare products, and whatnot. In today's video, I'll be discussing these 5 methods that I've personally used to rid myself of acne and the science behind them. So before we start, let's actually try to understand how acne is formed. Acne is primarily caused by a combination of lifestyle, diet, and hormones. The pores in your skin usually get clogged up by dead skin cells or bacteria, and the natural sebum that your body produces in order to fight these off and also keep your face moisturized will, in combination with this bacteria and dead skin cells, cause acne. So when these pores get clogged, they actually also get sealed off, which causes inflammation, and the sebum starts to react with the dead skin cells, causing the juices inside of the pimple. Studies have shown that as many as 95% of adolescents deal with acne at some point in their life, mainly when they go through puberty. Now, I used to have horrible cystic acne all over my face, back, chest, and even places I cannot mention. For the longest time, I was known as the pizza face guy. I tried pretty much everything in the book. I researched heavily for years and years, and nothing seemed to work really. But through trial and error, I eventually discovered 5 methods that I'm going to be discussing in this video. Now, it is worth mentioning that everybody is different, so while many of these methods might not work for you, there is one of them that will actually work 99% of the time. But there are some drawbacks, so stick till the end of this video to find out what it is and why I don't suggest doing it from the get-go. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, it is worth mentioning that stress is actually a huge cause for acne. This has been scientifically proven as well, but I'm not going to be discussing how to reduce stress in this video. If you're interested in how to mediate stress, you can actually check out my video on how to find your path in life, where I discuss some mindfulness practices that I personally use and that are proven to be effective. The thing with acne is that most people actually mature out of it. I'm sure you've heard that a million times already, but there is a good chance that if you just simply make conscious choices to live a healthier life, the acne will just simply go away, because chances are it's just hormone levels fluctuating as you're going through puberty, so it will eventually stabilize. So if you're someone who can handle maybe a year or 2 of looking like a pizza crust, you might not even have to use any of these 5 tips to actually reduce your acne. It will just simply go away. However, if you are impatient and you want to get it fixed ASAP, the very first tip is to avoid sugars and processed foods. There is a study that looked at 43 males with acne vulgaris over a period of 12 weeks. The study compared the effect of an experimental low glycemic load diet with a conventional high glycemic load diet on clinical and endocrine aspects of acne vulgaris. They found that the low glycemic load diet group actually saw an increase in IGF-1, which is a growth hormone, reduced weight, and reduced acne. So high glycemic index foods are basically carbohydrates that are quick acting, so you can think of these as sugars, whereas if you have something that has a low glycemic index, it's something like oatmeal or beans, or stuff that actually metabolizes in your body at a slower rate. So there are studies showing that people who eat high sugar diets and lots of fast acting carbohydrates, aka high glycemic index carbohydrates, they have an increase in body weight, they have decreased insulin sensitivity, which is bad, and they also have an increase in acne vulgaris if they are prone to it. So case in point, the first thing you should do is eliminate all sugars from your diet. This includes white rice, which it isn't a sugar, but it is a fast-acting carbohydrate, alongside processed foods, so foods that could irritate the metabolism and irritate your skin in general. Now, the second suggestion, which actually did not do much for me personally, but I've seen a lot of people swear by it, is eliminating dairy from your diet. There is conflicting research when it comes to eliminating dairy from one's diet in order to avoid acne and improve its state. However, a 2005 study actually looked at the correlation between acne and dairy consumption in high school students. They actually found that the students consuming more dairy were prone to more acne. It was hypothesized that the main factor behind it are the hormones and bioactive molecules found in milk. What this means is if you notice decreased acne after removing dairy from your diet, it might have actually been a combination of the fact that skim milk and sweet dairy products have high GI carbs, and also you could have a particular genetic susceptibility to the compounds found in dairy. So this is something that I don't necessarily necessarily do myself because a lot of my daily protein comes from dairy, but I have over the years sort of gone for less dairy overall. So currently my staple foods are, you know, eggs, meat, sometimes there's cottage cheese, and I actually replaced skim milk with cream, which I mix with water in order to get the similar texture to milk. This is because skim milk actually has a lot of fat removed from it, but they don't remove the carbohydrates. So in turn, you will have a lot of fast-acting carbs in that milk that could also potentially exacerbate your acne. And if you're someone who has the possibility to get milk straight from the tap, then I would say go for it, because you're not going to be getting any of the pro-hormones and steroids that are found in regular store-bought milk, and you also get to enjoy dairy. Now, moving on from nutrition, the third point is actually how you sleep. And no, I don't mean the amount of hours you sleep, I mean what you sleep on. You see, your pillowcase and pillow are actually huge collectors of dead skin cells and bacteria found on your face. Even if you wash your face meticulously before going to sleep, it can actually be a bad thing because your pores will be clean and open, and then you put your head on the pillow that you've used for like a week and your pores get clogged up. So the solution here is to wash your pillowcase regularly, either once a week, twice a week. Don't keep it unwashed for months and months on end. That's one way you can actually irritate your skin and cause more acne. Now, there are acne safe pillowcases you can buy. They are silk based and supposedly they help reduce the amount of acne that you get. Silk has actually scientifically been proven to be efficacious at reducing skin irritation and infection. It's not that expensive to actually get a silk pillowcase. I've linked a few of them down in the description so you can check them out. These are the ones that I personally recommend. But again, keep in mind, if you don't remove sugar from your diet and if dairy is something that causes acne for you and you still don't remove it, changing your pillowcase simply won't be the cure-all solution. It should be combined with other preventative measures in order to reduce the acne. Now, the fourth step is actually moisturizing your skin. This is important because if you use a good moisturizer, you will prevent any sort of bacteria and dead skin cells and any sort of gunk going into your pores. When you moisturize your skin, you're actually naturally opening up the pores more, but a lot of these moisturizers contain antibacterial compounds in them, which will prevent any form of dirt that could get into the pores. Now, this is also important for the next point, which is the most, I'd say, dangerous of them all, and it should be only used as a last resort. Now, that last-ditch effort is actually Accutane, scientifically known as isotretinoin. Accutane or isotretinoin is actually a vitamin A derivative. This is why a lot of people will suggest eating foods high in vitamin A in order to reduce acne, but honestly, it's not going to do much unless you go on the treatment of Accutane prescribed by your doctor. I have personally run Accutane. It was really just a last-ditch effort for me as well. I went to my dermatologist and they just put me on it immediately. This is a very, very heavy compound, which is why I say that this should be your last resort. Do not try to get it illegally. Do not try to get it on your own. Go to your general practitioner or your dermatologist and ask them about it. They will prescribe you a dose that is actually optimal for you. Now, Accutane is sort of like the female birth control. Not in that sense, but they are very similar in the fact that they both have a huge side effect profile. So, you know, like female birth control has side effects like depression and possible death and blah, blah, blah. Accutane's kind of the same. Accutane will make you, for the most part, very, very depressed, which is further exacerbated by the fact that your skin will get so dry that you will look like a combination between Michael Jackson and Freddy Krueger for the most part. I remember sitting in class and having to actually go to the bathroom every 15 minutes to moisturize my lips and skin, and even then people would look at me and be like, dude, you look like a zombie, you're shredding skin, there's literally flakes coming off of your skin as we speak. And I'm like, yeah, what can I do? This is the medication that I'm on. Now, the worst part about this was that the lips got super, super dry. Like, I would walk around and if I didn't have my chapstick on me, then it would be bleeding. My lips would look red, like I had just put on lipstick, but they were bleeding. The face wasn't the only place that was super dry, it was everywhere on my body. So this is the reason why I would say don't go for it from the get-go. There are alternative methods you can actually use that and also involve a dermatologist. So for an example, laser therapy. If I would have known about laser therapy, I would have asked about it, but you know, I went on Accutane and about 6 months in, I realized that I should have gone for laser therapy instead. So if you are at that point where everything you tried, nothing worked, and you are at the dermatologist office, ask for laser therapy. If they say no, ask them why. And if they say, yeah, it's excuses, then go for Accutane. But be advised, it is very, very potent, and it has a very large side effect profile. Personally, for me, when I was on Accutane, I just wished that I wasn't. I regretted ever even going on it. I considered quitting so many times, but now looking back at it, I'm actually kind of glad that I went through it, because my skin is now naturally pretty dry. I still have to moisturize it every now and then, because Accutane is sort of a treatment that you do once and it sticks with you for the lifetime. I've heard of people do multiple cycles of Accutane. I would never go back to Accutane. Let's just say that. Nowadays, I only get breakouts when I eat lots and lots of sugar for an extended amount of time. So if you actually look, I have a pimple here and, you know, some smaller ones here. This is because I had a cheat day yesterday. I ate like an entire jar of Nutella. I know it's not healthy, but I do these like every 1.5 weeks, so I don't really care at that point. And of course, it is worth mentioning that Accutane is very hepatotoxic. What this means is that it places a huge stress on your liver. So if you have any history of taking any sort of medication like antidepressants, for an example, or like I had epilepsy for a while, just be careful. You know, you could get rid of your acne, but is it worth messing up your liver? So keep that in mind. Always do your blood work, and don't take my word for it. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. So just to recap, combining hormonal control, a healthy diet, proper hygiene, and moisturization on your face are actually good ways you can naturally get over acne. And if none of these work, you always have that possibility of going on Accutane, which I don't suggest, but if you must go on it, then just be aware of the side effects. And as for moisturization, don't just use any moisturizer. I suggest La Roche-Posay. I think that's how you say it. I'll put a link to that in the description as well, so you can check those out. This is what I used while I was on Accutane, and I still use it to this day. It's clinically proven to actually reduce acne, and it is also very great at moisturizing your skin. And remember, we all have breakouts, but the important thing to remember here is if you manage to clear your skin up once and you just get a breakout, it is temporary, and you just need to go back and analyze what you did wrong in order to actually cause that breakout to happen. So like I mentioned, for me, it's just copious amounts of sugar consumption, or if I don't wash my face for maybe like 24 hours for some reason, then I also might get some breakouts. But generally speaking, if you're healthy, you take care of your skin, you take care of your diet, your skin should look clear in no time. And if it doesn't work, again, Accutane. So overall, don't lose hope. There are so many fixes available. I just brought up 5, but there are definitely so many more. Like I already mentioned, stress. There's a bunch of research on the subject of acne and the causes behind it. So if none of these work for you, go see a dermatologist, talk to them about what you're experiencing, and don't worry, you'll get over it. I had the most horrible acne of my life, and now my skin, you know, there is some scarring here and here, but looking at me from afar, you wouldn't even guess that I was dealing with the most horrible cystic acne of my life. So if I could do it, so could you. If you found this video helpful, go check out my other videos and share this one with someone who might find it useful as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Fly high.